Good morning to you, our viewers. We are live on Savana TV this morning. It's once again, schools are closed, but it's not a holiday. The last time we came to you was about 3 weeks ago when we had representatives from Ghana Education Service as well as some concerned parents who wanted to talk to us about support for our children whilst they are out of school, whilst schools are still closed due to the implications of the coronavirus. So once again today we are coming to you. Still, you know, this is an education program, a program focused on ensuring that every child out there, every school-going child out there who is currently out of school goes back to school when schools reopen. So once again, this is schools are closed, but it is not a holiday. Our topic for today, even before I go there, we have on my panel, I have people from Ghana Education Service once again, so you already understand where we are going with this. And then today we have an expert in the house also. We have a counselor in the house with someone who gives psychosocial support, which is all this particular program is about. Today we want to find out how ready Ghana Education Service is in taking up some of the social consequences that the coronavirus is coming along with. And we're going to focus on teenage pregnancy once again. Sometime past, I think during the first lockdown, I think it was barely 3 months or something, then we heard from the National Population Council, one of the bosses, that already we had recorded over 9,000 pregnancies. Yes, that data, that information didn't really say where the pregnancies were coming from, but to be sure, we all know, we can see what is going on around us. We know our school kids also have been affected by this. So we're here today with Ghana Education Service to ask them how they are preparing for the intake of all these girls who are unfortunately getting pregnant because of all these issues around COVID-19, how they are preparing to ensure that all of them go back to school, because we know the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service have been telling us that pregnancy should not stop any person from going to school. So briefly, I'll just introduce my guest to you. We have, yes, our usual here, who is almost like a second host to us here, Mr. Adam Abdul Rahman, who is a teacher with Ghana Education Service. Today, I am very glad we have a chef coordinator in our midst. That's the School Health Education Program Officer Coordinator. Yes, that's school health, meaning in schools under Ghana Education Service. And then we have our counselor in-house, Mr. Alex Ayiku Akrofi. You're welcome, sirs and madam. Okay, so briefly, let me just dive into it. Firstly, let me ask counselor to just give us a basis before we start. When we say psychosocial support, counselor, what does that entail?
When we talk about the psychosocial support counselor, we are looking at it in this way. We deal with the society, and we live in a society. The society is very large. There are a lot of issues that go on in the society. The school is part of the society, and it's just limited. So the teachers in the school can, one way or the other, see some kind of problems with the people and then try to diagnose it or try to help. But when the children go out there into the larger society, who is out there to help them? Parents might not have time to be with the children. So this kind of problems that will arise, we need counselors at the schools and at home that parents can fall on. When the children are becoming deviant in society, they can come out to do what? To help. Sometimes this kind of psychosocial issues may not be shown early. They may have to do it. But when it begins to show, who is out there to help? Parents will not have that kind of skill to help. But if you get a trained counselor who can sit the person down, ask questions, how the whole thing started, I think it will help in the large society for these our children to grow to become better people in the future. So it's just basically those things.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Akubi. So now to my chef coordinator. Please, now educate us on the mandate of a chef coordinator. What does a chef coordinator do in our schools?
Thank you very much. The mandate of the chef coordinator is quite broad, and I don't know whether you want me to elaborate on all.
No, just briefly for our viewers to understand what your job is.
Yes, so first of all, I would say that the chef coordinator has the responsibility of monitoring and then supervising the implementation of the policies of the chef in the schools. And so you have to go to ensure that the policies are being carried out and adhered to. And then I also, as a chef coordinator, will have to support in building the capacity of the teachers and even students. Giving them the right information and then also directing them as to how to implement the policies that we are mandated to undertake. And then the chef coordinator also is a liaison officer. It's between partners and other NGOs that are into school health.
Okay.
And so, and also you have to evaluate the activities of the school health activities in schools.
Okay.
Evaluate and report on them to the metro director.
Okay.
Maybe for further actions and for.
Okay.
Permit me to wear my mask well.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
I don't want you to. Anyway. And I also ensure the distribution of resources and logistics to schools to ensure that they use them, they have them, and use them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you started mentioning policies. Maybe you could just mention one or two things under the policies that you ensure are implemented in the schools.
Well, so the policies, as you want me to indicate, first of all, we have prevention and control of diseases.
Okay.
It's one of the policies. Then we also have the skill-based education.
Okay.
And so we need to give them, it's our mandate, I should say, to give the appropriate information and training in terms of education, which is skill-based, that they can live and abide with for a longer period or for the rest of their lives. I should say the teachers and students. And also it's our mandate to ensure, or the policy of GS to ensure that we have safety in terms of food and nutrition education in the schools.
Okay.
And then the last aspect of it is safety and then healthy school environment.
Okay.
A safe and healthy school environment.
Okay.
So there are four main areas.
Okay. So maybe, I don't know if this is what I should do, but I want to delve into the safety of the school environment, because I want to believe that's where yes.
Your interest may be.
Exactly. Could we just talk about that a bit? What does that entail in itself?
That is safe and healthy environment, a school environment. This has to do with healthy psychosocial school environment. And so stress, mental torture, and its related issues are dealt with if we have to sort of ensure this safe and healthy environment. Then we have safe physical environment. It also falls under the safe and healthy environment. We want to ensure that the environment is free of injury. It is conducive enough for students to study and to build up their lives whilst in school. And then we also want to ensure that the safe water is available and then safe sanitation. That all falls under the safe. This marks is bothering me. Maybe you should have given me one of them.
You see.
All right. So that goes for the safe and healthy environment.
Okay.
When we talk about safe, just the environment, psychosocial, physical environment, safe water and sanitation.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much, Auntie Patience. Now, briefly to Mr. Rahman. Mr. Rahman, you are a teacher with Ghana Education Service. So, madam just spoke about the safety of the environment in which your pupils find themselves. What role do you also play? Because at a point she mentioned that she builds capacity of teachers in these. So what contribution do you also give to ensuring that the environment, the school environment, is safe for our children?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to this moment, and a very good moment out there to cherish viewers. Actually, I happen to double as a chef coordinator, as Madam is aware of.
Excellent.
It's an area I like so much, cherish so much. And since Madam and Rachel mentioned that she keeps on building capacities, I happen to be one of them.
Oh, okay.
Actually, there is this whole policy under the chef coordinatorship from the office that has to do with school health club.
Okay.
So one of the capacity building areas I was so much interested in is the formation, the handling, and the coordination of the school health clubs.
Excellent.
There's this whole issue that is attached to the school health club known as the CYAs. That has to do with child youth ambassadors.
Okay.
So with this, Madam will build my capacity as a teacher, which I intend to build the capacity of the children by educating them on the necessary protocols and measures to keep in order to be safe within the school settings. And with the CYAs, we have water ministers, we have environmental ministers, we have sanitation ministers that are assigned to this school children. And since it's a club, there is a need that members of the club come out to give that mandate to this particular student. For that matter, you realize that whatever is given to you from somebody, the person tends to respect you. So I see that when there's a water minister in my school, he or she ensures that there's always water for the children to wash there. And another thing is that when there's an environmental minister, be it a female or a male, there is all respect and adhere to his or her rules. So the environment, they have to do with cleaning, weeding, slashing of weeds around, washing of toilet facilities. All these children are actively taking part. Another thing is that with these health issues, we have health prefects in our various schools. So with the knowledge, the capacity building that is given to us as teachers, we also empower the young ones in order to look to the health of their colleagues. And sometimes it's not by giving them medication, it's about looking at the physical being of the individual and report to you, the chef coordinator, so that you can take it from there. So these are some of the areas I think the chef coordinator is helping to empower us.
Excellent one. So, Madam, I'll just come back to you again with the question, the reason why we are here. How ready is the Ghana Education Service to take up all of these things that we're talking about, especially pregnant girls? Because the last time we were here already, Mr. Rahman was alluding to the fact that they had already started recording some pregnancies in our basic schools within the Tamale metropolis. How ready is the Ghana Education Service in ensuring that none of these pregnant girls remains in the house when schools reopen?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is a big concern, I must say. But to answer the question, how ready we are, we may be ready, but to what extent, we can't measure now. But we are not in school. We are not on a holiday. We are not in school, as you said. But we still working with our teachers, aside being at home and not in school. These teachers are in collaboration with their counselor, I should say, especially the school counselors. We have a counselor in the office who liaises with them and is working with them as to how they can handle issues when school reopens. And the last time they had a meeting in the office, discussing into details how or things to be put in place in order to handle these cases when the schools reopen. And the other issue is that the health directorate, Metro Health Directorate, the public health nurse in person, has been in close contact with GES and SHARE. Trying to get information on girls perhaps that we have had information that they are presently pregnant, and working closely with the girl child coordinator. We got a few names which we have given out to them. Because they have a program, this safety nets.
Yes.
And so it's important we hand over or we liaise with them to make sure that these ones, whilst even at home, attended to. And so that is one way, is to be in touch with them. The other plan that is put in place in the school include getting information, the head teachers, getting information on all girls and where they reside for us. And the head teachers have started collating this for us. We want to have information on the girls, especially where they stay and who they stay with. And from there, we can move ahead. And so they have started collating the information for us. And with that information, it will help us locating them and also preparing adequately when school opens for them.
Mr. Rahman, the same question. Do you think as a teacher, you are ready to receive these girls into your classroom and be, is it fair? Is the word fair? You know, we understand how it feels like, even though, yes, it may not have happened to personally to some of us, but at least we have heard, we have seen how it feels like for a girl child who is pregnant to sit in the classroom. Last time you were here, we talked about teachers using girls as examples to colleagues in the classroom in the presence of the girls, and that is demotivating to the girls. That is even one of the reasons why the girls decide, okay, I'm not going again, because if you go and this is what is happening all the time, then what is the need? As a teacher, are you ready, I mean the psychosocial aspect also, to enter your classroom and see about 2 or 3 pregnant girls in your classroom and handle it?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I will say yes, because GES, I always say and believe that it's a human institution. And with human institution, definitely there will be errors. And these errors are bound to happen. And the fact that we are with children, not fully matured enough to have handled themselves away from these teenage pregnancies. As individuals, one of the aspects I always look at is the developmental stages of the individual. If the people of the girl, that the parents, still want her back to school, all I do is to allow her back again, because my experience wouldn't agree hearing that I sacked a pregnant girl out of school. So for me as an individual, I allow pregnant girls in my class. Although for now, there's no pregnant girl in my class.
Madam, I want to add something.
Yes, please.
I think, in fact, it's not choice. It's not by choice. A teacher has no right to stigmatize any girl or promote stigmatization in any way or any form. And so if any teacher is found doing that, you'll be held responsible. And so you have no right. In fact, you don't have a choice. It's the right of the girl to be in school, stay and complete, or stay until time of delivery. Yes, and needs the support of the teachers and colleagues.
Yeah. So, Madam is saying that it is not allowed. GES does not allow stigmatization in any form or shape. It is not done. Everybody has the right. It is a basic right to be in school. Whether she is pregnant or not, she has to be in school. The teacher's role is to ensure that teaching and learning happens. Yes, it's unfortunate, but it happens. So we just have to find a way to ensure that the classroom environment is safe and conducive enough for our girls, especially our girls who get pregnant, not to fall out, but to even seek comfort, right? To find the classroom as that safe zone, for them to come back to. I think one of the mistakes we have been making is, maybe even at the parental level, is to say that, yeah, if she's gotten pregnant, then that's the end. We forget that the minute we truncate that period for the girl child, it means she's going down if nothing is done about it. That brings me to the point we made last time, that you go to a home and the mother is like 30 years. The daughter is about, where should I even put her? Around 18, 17 years. And you wonder who is parenting who, because these people are all young. Thank you, Ghana Education Service. Mr. Kofi, what would you ask the Ghana Education Service to concentrate on more? Looking at these dynamics we're talking about, looking at this particular consequence, which is the pregnancy part, it is dear to us over here because it is one of the reasons why the girls are not getting anywhere. What would you advise Ghana Education Service to focus on in ensuring that these girls come back to school?
Thank you so much for the question. I'm a teacher myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't know
Ghana
that.
Education Service, yes.
Oh, nice.
One thing I've observed in Ghana Education Service is that we're lacking counselors. We're lacking counselors.
Okay.
That's one aspect that the Ghana Education Service is having problems with. When we talk of counselors, not all individuals can become counselors in schools. You are a teacher, yes, you've done some aspect of counseling whilst you are going through your training. But you need to put yourself up for the counseling course to call the counselor. So one thing I've realized is that we can't get them in the system and they are not there. But what I want to say is that, first of all, is that even if within a cluster of schools, GES can get at least one counselor, a professionally trained counselor, who can lace up between the office and then the cluster of schools to build the capacity of the teachers in the areas as to how to handle these teenage girls who are pregnant in our schools. I think it go a long way to help the girls stay in the school. You see, one thing we have to look at is how teachers sometimes stigmatize these girls when they are in class. It is very, very bad. We need to make sure that our chef coordinator is here and also lays out with the coordinator for counselors in the office so that visiting of schools and cluster of schools frequently will be the best. Because sometimes you can be there the whole term, the counselor will not come to your school or the cluster of schools. If the schools are so much, yes, you should just put them into clusters so that at least one Friday you can meet almost all the teachers and educate them as to how, because we are in the time where this pandemic has come, maybe they are saying it's coming to stay. But as long as it's coming to stay, how are we going to go about helping these our young ones to be able to stay away to become what? Pregnant? It has a lot of effect on them. Like one, self-identity. Self-identity. I'm an adolescent. I'm growing up with my colleagues in the community, in the environment that we are all growing, in the school we are all growing together. Then finally, because of the age, definitely they want to explore their sexuality. Becomes pregnant. Now, I look at myself. How would people out there see me? First of all, family, my father and mother. People outside there would think that my father and mother are not caring for me very well. That is why I'm born into irresponsible. You see? So for that reason, I have to go out there to fend for myself. And in fending for myself, what happens? I become pregnant. That's the family aspect of it. Now she'll be thinking of how friends will accept her in the broader society or the larger world society. How friends are going to think about her. How are other grown-ups in the society are also going to think about her. This girl is a deviant. They will use her as an example for other girls within the society, even at the school. You see how this girl has become. When you continue to this your life, you're also going to become that same girl. And you're going to be a dropout. But I've read about dropouts of teenage girls who have become scholars in the world. And this part of our world, the way we grew up, the way we are trained, what happens is that when you become pregnant, they don't look at the aspect of the person being pregnant. But all the blame is shifted on the young girl that you have caused it. Sometimes the young girl might be innocent. Just going in for once results into this. So parents have a duty, teachers have a duty, Ghana Education has a duty. The shift coordinator must not look at herself as an individual in an office and doing her own work. She must link up with the counseling coordinator and see how they can draw programs to help the schools, because definitely after this when schools reopen, whether this year, next year, anytime, we are going to face these problems. And how are we going to handle it? How are we going to go about it? So please, madam is here, and I know she'll take this and then send it to the office and see how best they can develop programs to help our schools and our girl child. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kofi. Yes, madam, I think at a point you mentioned that you liaise between all of these departments. I think one thing we know is that, correct me if I'm wrong, every school is supposed to have a counseling section or something. But unfortunately, I don't think I have really seen anything much when it comes to that. I don't know if you'd want to just say a word.
Madam, let me come in before you come with the question. You see, one thing I've realized is that with our secondary schools, they have
the structure is
there, place. But with our basic schools, they just, especially our primary school, I don't think they have. But with the junior high, what happens is that they have a section that they will see the counseling masters or counseling, how do you call them?
The office.
Committee in the school. That when there is a problem with any child, they call on them and then they come in to advise and these things. But what happens is that the teachers are not there. Maybe the teacher has a lesson to teach. And now you're calling on that teacher to have a counseling session with a child. What happens? He loses the period. Sometimes, as me to say, our CS will come, they go to our lesson notes. Because you are part of the counseling committee and you are not doing writing your lesson notes and other things, you'll be queried. So because of that, teachers are made counseling or counselors in schools, but they don't act. They only think about the teaching, which will not happen, which will not help. And one thing too is that don't just go to class. What happens is that we just write the topic for the day. Instead of sometimes taking time to identify some little problems in the classroom and see how we can use some 5 or 10 minutes of our time to address it. So it's like these psychosocial issues. You may see a child being dull in the class. She might not sleep very well the previous night. Maybe she didn't sleep at home. She went out there to meet another man. You can find ways and means of asking 1 or 2 questions. If you see that things are going further and it will affect your class, later on you call the girl and do what? And then inquire from the girl. Yes.
I think the question was posed to me.
Before Madam Captain,
before
let me come
they will have answered for
the main one.
Certain things came up that I happened to be a witness. Sometimes I feel, let me say, privileged to have been in some of these key issues. I'm the chairman again of the council committee.
Hey, Mr. Rahman. Nice.
So thank God my senior man actually said that in the second cycle institutions where they have specific structures assigned for counseling. Actually, what we do is that in the basic school, especially where I'm coming from, Madam is a key witness, I'm sure to that. What we do is that we do generalization. And with this generalization, within a week, we put our ears and eyes down, monitor the activities of the students, see a particular behavioral change that is negative. Then somewhere Friday, the end of the week, then after first break, what we do is that we give them about an hour, group all of them into a particular sheet or in a classroom, depending on whoever that wants to come in. So we bring out these issues, iron them, give them the chance to ask questions for the necessary action to be made. So I see that in the basic school, we don't actually have the structures. And again, what we lack there is these experts coming in to like uplift that kind of spirit in us. We see that that is lacking, and I've been on years since they are not encouraging the professionals to come in there. But what I do in my school is that we identify the problem within the week, and by the end of the week, that's Sunday, Friday, we address the issues. So sometimes this is what we do.
Excellent.
All right,
so we are coming to you.
Sure, but but I want to commend Mr. Rahman. In fact, your school is one of the schools that I'm very proud of. And you train them, you go back to monitor, and you are satisfied. And I think that you are doing very well. Your head teacher is very proactive, and he has very hardworking staff, and I'm happy about that. So what he's saying, I'm not surprised. So it's a special school. Well done. Anyway, so as they indicated, really we don't have the counselors. They are not enough. We really lack counselors. But what we do in our small way is to select teachers at the school level, teachers. Just whether you're a counselor or not, or you have that counseling as a subject or not, you just look at the teacher and look at your orientation and look at your it's not everybody that can act or support in that direction. You may be a teacher, and so it takes the head and some other people in the school to identify and then put them into a committee where they support the children. And so at the basic level, basically that is what they do. 2 or 3, 4 teachers are put together to support. So they identify issues and then they handle them at their level. And when the thing is out of hand, they push to the metro office and then support is given. Yeah, so that is true. For the senior high, the structures are in place as they indicated. For they don't have much of a problem, but it's the basic school. And so we are looking at it. I think the counselor at the office is doing well. He goes to the classes as he's suggested. He's doing it, but we have put all schools together, almost 300 to 400 schools, and as a single person, it's not easy. But I've observed that he's doing his best, and he's going around. He puts the schools in clusters, and then I have joined him in 1 or 2 instances, and he's doing his best. But then we have to do more. We have to, because this time the effect, the coronavirus actually is bringing us the other side of life, and we need to wake up and put in more effort. And I think from here we still collaborate and ensure.
Thank you so much, Auntie Patient. You are still watching Schools Are Closed, but it is not a holiday. This initiative is brought to you by Savana Signatures and Edukans International. We aim through this program to ensure that every school-going child out there goes back to school when schools eventually reopen. Please, COVID-19 is real. It is as real as you can get it. We have to ensure our own safety, the safety of our families in everything we do. Like Councillor said, some school of thought is that even I think the World Health Organization, their boss, said, yeah, it's probable that this virus is here to stay. We may just have to find a way to live with it. We do not want to lose anyone out there. We have to keep safe. We have to keep wearing our nose masks like we have done on this, my panelists have done. I know my shield, I hear this is not the best way to wear it. So even as I'm wearing it, I'm supposed to have my nose mask under it. Please, let's ensure our own safety, the safety of our family and friends. Let's wash our hands with soap and water, running water. Yeah, that's, yeah, you have to. Running water, soap and running water. Please, it is necessary. If you can't afford, please get an alcohol-based sanitizer in your bag, in your pocket, wherever you can have it. Anytime you touch anything, please sanitize your hands. It is necessary for the survival of this human race, for the survival of us Ghanaians. Yes, we will go back to our discussion. Today we're discussing the readiness of Ghana Education Service to take up girls who are pregnant as a result of, yes, the closure of schools, we know poverty and all of these things that come along with all of our issues and all. How ready is the Ghana Education Service to take up these girls, because we want to ensure that we leave nobody behind. So yes, going back, Patience, I know that when we talk about teenage pregnancy, a lot of times it's not only your interaction with these girls does not only end there. It goes beyond, goes to the home, goes to the parents. What has your experience been like dealing with pregnant girls and their parents? I want to talk about the relationship parents have with girls, their girls who have gotten pregnant whilst in school. Can you give us some insight as to how parents handle these issues at their level?
Well, you know, when these girls come to school and you interact with them, especially those that are bold enough to stay in school, because most of them shy away and they don't want to be in school. But if you interact with them, you observe that there is that perception that what they have done is so big a crime that you really can't live normal at home or in school. And so at home, they are isolated somehow. They are timid. They really cannot relate as they used to do with their parents or relatives. Because that impression that you're a bad girl has taken over them. And so interacting with them, they will tell you that I am not happy at home. And that is a fact. They also, those that are bold to be in school, will tell you that they are stressed with schoolwork. They are not able to cope as the others who are pregnant. And so when they get back home with homework and other assignments on them, because there is no peace at home, they get home, they are not happy. They are not able to have the sound mind at home to attend to their homework. So it affects their school work as well. You know, so interacting with them further, you realize that these girls have some needs that are left unattended to, be it material or financial needs. Because most of the time, those that impregnate them are far away or are not held responsible. And others too really don't have the capacity or the ability to provide. And so in fact, they go through so much emotional stress and trauma that the parents will have to have a second look at this. Because if from outside, my child has been impregnated and he comes to, where else would this girl find, what do you call it, solace or find comfort? It's just at home. And so we really have to work on parents and to let them know that having a pregnant girl at home can be as having an over 8 person at home being pregnant. And so we should give it that attention and help them out. So we need to have these our PTA meetings, talking to parents, and putting it on our agenda. In fact, that is what we are looking at. The last time the counselor was saying that we should, as we insist that what should be on PTA agenda. Anytime they have PTA meetings, should be on agenda. This time, we want to look at teenage pregnancy. We want it to be something that should be on the agenda of PTA meetings. Discussed, if possible, bring in an expert to give them that education and then encouragement to handle their girls that get pregnant.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you so much. Mr. Mann, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. As a teacher, I wouldn't say no. I always have to add something.
Please go ahead.
I made mention the last time we had the same discussion here that there was a girl called Zulaiha who was pregnant just before we left for this corona period. You know, we never knew who was responsible. We never knew how old the pregnancy was. But in less than 3 months after, let's say, the closure of schools, I heard that she gave birth to a baby boy.
Oh,
yes. So right away, what the experience I had with her was that she kept on asking, let me say, some funny questions to me, which I wasn't getting. Until I put my head down, started studying this girl, and then I got to know that she was pregnant. She asked me, so said, if a girl is pregnant, how does she look? I said, well, I'm not a doctor, but there are certain signs that shows that the girl is pregnant. One of it is that your system changes. And she asked me, what are some of the changes? I said, look, are you pregnant? She said, no. I said, well, it's not bad being pregnant, but if you're pregnant and you report it early, there are certain times help will come your way. And certain times we'll call on your parents, and we try to see what they can do about it, or you are their daughter.
I mean, the questions she was asking you is just a clear case of a child who is going through something that parents are unaware of.
Yes. So I earlier on stated that when a child is coming up, especially the early developmental stages, there are so many things will come of her that you are curious that she's growing. I saw that all these features were popping up. And one time I just called on her, one lady called Perpetua, who is also a teacher in the same school, gave me some footworks to be given to performing students so that to boost their morale and boost the morale of others to also keep up. So among them was one pinkish sandals that looked very beautiful, which I said, okay, this one belongs to Zuleha. So I picked it myself, called her to the headmaster's office, and I told her, the more you are in school, the more I see you in school, the more goodies that will come your way. But this is just one of it. Do you like it? She said, yes. I liked it. So I kept on like wanting her to tell me what was in her. So fortunately there's a woman who is an activist, gender activist in the community there called Mafati. So I told Mafati to actually relate to this girl for me, find out what her problems are. It seemed to be like parents are not aware of what is happening within her. So the woman, less than a week, came back and told me that your girl is pregnant. So I said, is the parents aware? She said, no. So I said, okay, what I would do is that we are left with almost a week to go home, because government is saying with this coronavirus, when it is not ending, we surely have to go home. So I think we call on the parents and discuss it. So what we did was that we sent for the parents, they never came. Until the very day we were leaving school. So we went and had them. And when they came, the mother confessed to us that she has been suspecting that the girl is pregnant. Unfortunately, when we came home, less than 3 months, she gave birth. So you can imagine the duration of the pregnancy whilst in school. So she was high, let me say, 6 months old pregnancy. So right now my intention is that when we reopen school for sure, by then maybe the girl might have recovered, even the child might have even grown a little. So we'll try as much as possible to get her back to school.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rahman. Councillor, I want to come to you, but I would love to do this first and then come back. So, as patients, as a SHEP coordinator, are there any specialized care that you give to especially girls who are pregnant in the school environment to ensure that they are at ease to also take part in learning?
Well, so the school environment is the same, the classroom is the same, but it takes just the extra effort of the teachers and the head to give them some extra attention. But aside that, they really go through the same things as the others do. So a conscious head teacher of the teenage pregnant girl would give her that opportunity to come up anytime she thinks she feels unwell or feels not, pregnancy, they say it's not a sickness, but however, you really feel, it comes along with some other, how do I put it?
I think that
Discomfort or some,
The emotions sometimes
change, yes. And so you're given the opportunity to come to the head or the school health coordinator, the counselor, and tell them what and how they feel. Sometimes you may feel nausea, feel a bit sick. So you should be given the assistance. You should be given a first aid, so that you can stay until you go. And so for the schools, I should say, the head teacher, the school head teacher, the counselor, if there's a girl, that must be their girl. So the eye must be on that girl and give her the necessary assistance. So that at any given time, she needs any support. These three people should be there for her. And all teachers, but these three, that is somehow their responsibility, to provide for them or for her anytime she has an issue.
Thank you very much. Mr. Profi, I would want to believe that in your line of work you have come across or you have counseled parents who've had their children or their girls get pregnant and they didn't know what to do, that kind of thing. Would you, take us through a journey, a typical journey into the head of a parent at this point when you realize that your girl child is pregnant? I want to know what the very common issues, what are the very common issues they come to you with, especially when they come with issues of pregnancy of their girls.
Thank you very much. Back to the question. I would like to talk a little bit about Zulaya's issue. I watched a picture of a painting of Picasso some years back of a girl standing in front of a teenage girl pregnant standing in front of a mirror. And then when I look at the picture as a counselor, I begin to ask questions. What are the things that are going through the mind of this girl, as Mr. Rahman said? And these are some of the questions that the girl was asking. These are the things that was bothering her. The psychological aspect of her being pregnant and the consequences of the pregnancy, and after death, what will even happen. So when I watch the picture, I look at 4 areas that I think will help us in our discussion. The first thing I look at is the effect of the pregnancy, the teenage girl. Okay, let me come to it. First of all, teenagers go through changes. As he said, the mean definition, from 10 to 19. Some also say from 9 to 19. Whether 9 or 10 is teenage. You are pregnant. Within the teenage, there are some changes that comes up within you. Physical change, social changes, and psychological change. The way of thinking begins to change. You begin to see your physically body changing. Your breasts are protruding. Your way of doing things becomes like becoming a mother as a teenager. The people that you play with, you don't play them again because your way of thinking, sometimes you want to stay away from people, stay away from your parents, you want to have life for yourself. You begin to think how life is going to be as a teenager. The second aspect is that you are a teenager and you are pregnant. These changes you are going through these changes and now you are pregnant. they begin to think about so many things. That stress is taking today's issue and tomorrow's issue and try to solve it today. That's stress. Today's issue, tomorrow's issue, and try to solve it today. You go through it, you can't even sleep. You can't carry it. So this girl,
really go through
a lot. This girl stand in front of the mirror and thinking of being a teenager and being pregnant. Like I mentioned earlier, self-identity. Self-identity. Who am I? Now that I'm pregnant, how are people going to accept me? How are my friends going to accept me? How are my friends going to, as you said, the parents never knew it earlier. But the mother, because women, they are closer to their daughters, she suspected. But asking her was even a problem. You see? So
that is where I want to focus a lot on.
yeah.
Like what goes through the minds of parents? I mean, when they realize these things, why is it so difficult for parents to sit Akosia down or MFA down and say, my girl, what is wrong with you? Why is it so difficult for parents to talk to their girls?
The issue is that,
excuse me, it's not difficult,
Mm.
to do that, but they did not start that relationship from the beginning. And so that now makes it difficult.
Okay.
Because they really don't have that relationship with their girls.
Okay.
And it is true. It is true.
Okay.
And to add up to what Madam is saying, I always capture that irresponsible parenthood, irresponsibility, because teenage pregnancy to the parents or to some of the parents is a headache, no matter what. So as a parent, having given birth to such a young girl grown up to even the age of also becoming pregnant, it's a hell. And then at that material moment, the girl is pregnant. The mother, the father might have been looking back to the days when the mother was pregnant for her. So maybe the tedious time she went through is one of the headaches parents don't want to even go through. But the fact that they are able to even talk with the girl, find out that she's pregnant, who cannot even take care of the pregnancy, it is they who will have to take care of this. So for that matter, you realize that most parents will not even want to delve into the issues of the girl in order to carry that headache upon themselves. So I'll caption it as irresponsibility.
Thank you.
so not whatever they said. What I want to understand is that we are living in a society, like Africa and Ghana. When a girl becomes pregnant, parents think it's over for them. Because as you are growing, they've seen your daughter becoming a nurse, your daughter becoming a teacher. And at least, I don't know, a man, they see them going to bank and bringing something home. And you are in junior high or senior high, you are pregnant. You are going to stay, maybe, if you're lucky, you stay in the house for at least 1 year. Before maybe, if you are lucky, you continue with education. You see? So parents, when parents see this kind of pregnancies, they become agitated. They are not free.
Yeah.
And even how people think, sometimes you know what happens? People think that if the girl becomes pregnant at a teenage age, the parents don't provide the needs of the child. So the child begins to go out there, follow men, to get the needs that they needed. You see, so as Madam said earlier, the rapport from the beginning, creating of rapport, relationship between mothers, fathers, and their children. Africans, we don't know how to do it. It's a cultural thing, and that is why we need a lot of counselors in the system. Where, when this COVID-19 issue happened, what are the government saying? That before they go back to school, they'll give almost every school a counselor. They'll give every school a counselor. And what are the counselors? How many of them have been trained? So you see, parents will come and say, oh, you see, look at this, my daughter. Look at the way I'm looking up to her. They can look at the way I'm suffering now. I don't want her to suffer. So I'm caring for her, and as I'm caring for her, she has not become pregnant. That means everything in the family is cut short. And because of that, instead of spending more money on the child, even after delivery, to continue, it will say, go and learn work. What the child is intelligent. You see, so parents have to find ways. You see the way the wives behave. From the 8th grade, they begin to create that rapport. And this COVID-19 has come to let us understand so many things. When the lockdown happened in Accra and Kumasi, the one I called them, those days by 4, they leave home. They'll come home 9. The children are asleep. But during the COVID-19 and the lockdown came, they had time to interact with their children. They had to sit down, observe how the children behave in the house. And they begin to teach them one or two things. Children in Accra and Kumasi, I'll tell you, some of them don't know how to cook. One time they asked a child, where do you get charcoal from? On top of a tree. Where do you get a yam from? On top of a tree. They don't know it. But parents are not really at home, interact with the children. Even weekends, we have funerals to attend, we have weddings to attend, we have naming ceremonies to attend, and we waste a lot of time on those things instead of having time with our children. So African parents have to start to learn how to live with their children. And when they begin to see this kind of changes in the life of their children, you know what they do? Please, counselors are out there now. We have training counselors. We have counselors and we have counselors. Yes, we have yes.
Not those counselors on TV just spoiling everything.
Oh, yes. The counselors and counselors. Get well-trained ones, qualified ones, and then let them sit down with you, sit down with the child, and then at the end, you see your child becoming the best that you want the child to be. Being pregnant at this teenage does not mean it's the end. I told you earlier on that we have teenage girls who became pregnant and now they are doctors. They are professors. There are a lot of them in the system. So parents will stop that kind of system whereby when girl child becomes pregnant at the teenage and then at the end everything is lost. No, it's not lost. It's not lost.
Thank you very much. I will take that as your last word. So I was just moving to Mark. So you as part of GES, Ghana Education Service, what would be your final word for a girl out there who has found themselves in such a dilemma and do not know what to do? What would your advice be for a parent out there who has a girl in JHS 1, primary 6, who is pregnant and does not know what to do and is so bent on saying that this is your end. You will not go, I will not pay your school fees again.
Yeah, so I'll start with the parents. Parents, the children are your children. And they don't become someone's own when they become pregnant. They are still your children. And so, whatever you wish for them does not come to an end when they become pregnant. You need to continue to support them and to let them achieve whatever they want to achieve after delivery. Encourage them to go back to school when they give birth, because school is prepared to receive them and prepared to help them achieve their destinies and achieve their aspirations. So our arms are open as educationists, our arms are widely open, our school is ready to receive them. And so we also want you to bring them, come with them, assure them, and provide for them so that they can be comfortable in school, and then the time for delivery, they go and deliver and continue to come to school. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Rahman, your last words.
In our Ghanaian society, it is often said that the man is the head of the family. But I believe that the woman as well is the neck of the family. That can easily control the man. So let's be realistic. Let's come to terms with each other within the family and teach the children the right. And we should also get to know that COVID has come to stay. And the fact that it has come to stay, we have to live the life of the new normal. I think this is what I'll have to live with parents out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auntie Patience Adongo, my brother, Mr. Adam Abdul Rahman, and then our counselor, Mr. Alex Ayiku Akrofi. We are so grateful to have had you on this program today. Schools are closed, but it is definitely not a holiday. If you are a child out there and you're watching this, some way, somehow, a child on Facebook, it could be your mother's phone or your father's phone, that's okay. But if you're a child out there and you're watching, please understand that schools will definitely be open at a point, and you have to ready yourself to go back to school. If you're a girl out there and you find yourself in such a circumstance, my dear, it is not the end of life. Madam is here. I'll give you some numbers. I'll give them out pretty soon. If you are within Tamale or anywhere at all, and you have such a problem and you're finding it difficult talking to anybody about it, please contact these numbers. Call the Agoshi Plus call center on 5100. That's a toll-free number for MTN users. 5100, but you can call the She Plus call center directly on 0544 711 799. 0544 711 799. And if you want to use Vodafone, you can also call us on 050 286 3699. 050 286 3699. Schools are closed. It is not a holiday. Ghana Education Service, in summary, is telling us that they have put in measures, they have put in instruments to ensure that the service swallows all of these spillovers from the COVID-19 pandemic. They are saying that they are working very hard to ensure that no girl is left out, that every girl, no matter their situation, comes back to school when schools eventually reopen. We are not forgetting the boys, but we all have to be in school. Everybody, as long as you are a child out there, you have to be in school. Your first point should be school. Education above everything else. That is where the world is going to now. So schools are closed, but it is not a holiday. It is once again brought to you by Savana Signatures in collaboration with Edukans International. We want to ensure that we all come back to school. Everybody comes back to school. Once again, COVID-19 is real. People are getting it. Yes, people are getting infected. At least if we don't know, we know our Minister of Health had it. A lot of prominent people have had it. So don't go thinking that it is still a hoax. It is not a hoax. The pandemic is real. Remember, my director is forcing me to sing my song, but I don't want to sing because we are far. We've gone way beyond our apportioned time, so we're good. Please remember to wash your hands under running water, with soap under running water. I don't know why I keep saying running soap. Maybe it's the dispenser out there. So yes, under running water, please use soap. If you don't have that, please find an alcohol-based sanitizer. Sanitize your doorknobs everywhere you go. Remember to put on the nose mask. Okay, so this is my nose mask. Remember to put this on everywhere you go. Ensure that you are using the right there are those ones that look like, I don't know, it's just when you blow air you can really feel it outside. That's not what you're supposed to be putting on. Please put on the right mask in order to protect yourself from COVID-19.